Hey there, welcome into the show. My name is Chase Sr. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. And no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. Coming up on the Eagles Now Rundown, we're going to go through the players who balled out during Eagles mandatory minicamp on Tuesday. We also now have a date for when Eagles training camp gets underway, July 22nd. There will be a public practice held at Lincoln Financial Field on August 10th. Tickets for that will go on sale on June 12th. Just wanted to pass along that information to all of our Real Ones viewers and loyal subscribers. So without further ado, to the players who balled out during minicamp, have to begin with the Super Bowl MVP in Jalen Hurts. How he played in the NFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl has carried over to the offseason to a degree where he has been absolutely sensational throughout this spring. And he's played such clean, smart, efficient, surgical football. In the 3 open practices, according to Elliott Shore-Parks, who is tallying this information, Hurts went 50 of 55 with no picks during OTAs and minicamp. And I think that's so impressive because Hurts this year has his 6th play caller and offensive coordinator since he was drafted back in 2020. Doug Peterson year 1, Nick Sirianni to start year 2, Shane Steichen after that. Then he had Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore in 2024, and Kevin Patullo upcoming in 2025. And there's a lot of pressure on the new Eagles offensive coordinator in Patullo. Can he bring fresh ideas, fresh concepts, some creativity to this Eagles offense? Can Philadelphia continue to adapt and evolve? They did that from 2023 to 2024 under Kellen Moore. They did not do that from 2022 with Shane Steichen to Brian Johnson in 2023. And it's very hard to win a Super Bowl, change an offensive coordinator, and then have a lot of success the following year. So that will be difficult for the Eagles. The good news is Vic Fangio and his entire staff defensively will be back in 2025. Player number 2 who balled out during mandatory minicamp, Kelee Ringo. He is in a very firm roster competition for that outside corner spot opposite of Quinyon Mitchell with the likes of veteran Adoree Jackson, who's been in the league since 2017, well-traveled, and a player who's played a lot of very solid football in his career. He was a star at USC as a returner and as a defender. Cooper DeJean has been getting some snaps at outside corner. So too has a young player like Eli Ricks. But on Tuesday during mandatory minicamp, you saw what the Eagles have seen in Kelee Ringo, why they moved up in the draft to take him, why they're high on him, why when I was at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, a lot of the talk from Christian Parker and other Eagles coaches and players there was about Kelee Ringo being a player who they are very high on going into the following season. And on Tuesday, a couple of really good pass breakups. One of his best plays was a play where he didn't make a play on the ball. He just provided blanketed coverage on A.J. Brown. And why Ringo is so intriguing, he's still so young. He's only 22 years old. And at Georgia, he had first-round talent. He struggled his final year, and that's why he dropped to the start of day 3 in the 2023 NFL draft. But his highs were very high. And he gives the Eagles something that is very hard to find at the cornerback position. A player who is 6'2", 207 pounds. That's safety size with corner speed at 4'3". And what we've seen from him is solid play with limited reps. Can he put it all together? We'll certainly see that this upcoming season. Player number 3 who performed very well at minicamp and turned some heads and opened up some eyes, second-year pass rusher, Jalyx Hunt. The Eagles are really relying on Hunt to hunt in 2025. And I would imagine right now, Howie Roseman is not going to make a trade for a pass rusher because he wants to see these young edge rushers continue to ascend and develop, Nolan Smith and Jalyx Hunt. And he also knows that in the future, the Eagles are going to have to hand out some new contracts to the likes of Jalen Hurts, Jalen Carter, Reed Blankenship, just to name a few. And so if the Eagles can have a couple of cost-controlled assets and cheaper players at those pass rusher spots and not have to make a trade for a Trey Hendrickson, a TJ Watt, a player at that level as far as play and salary, that's kind of a win for Philadelphia. And Jalyx Hunt really came on at the end of last year in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, he was fantastic. Among all edge rushers in the playoffs, he had a 74 Pro Football Focus grade. That was 12th among 60 players at that position. His pass rush grade was 76.5. That was 7th. He had 2 sacks. That ranked 6th. He had 7 hurries. That ranked 7th. And he had 9 pressures. And during minicamp on Tuesday, he was very active. Gave Jordan Mailata a long day. He had a couple of really impressive pass rush reps in which he moved Jalen Hurts off of his spot, or he sacked a would-be sack of Jalen Hurts. He has bend, he has speed, a little bit of twitch. He has this relentless energy to his game, and we've seen the athleticism really ring true. He was a safety in college at Cornell, and then he transferred to Houston Baptist, and he became a third-round pick for Philadelphia and a player who the Eagles looked at as having a lot of potential at that pass rusher spot. And last year, he performed so well and ended the year so strong, Philadelphia is hoping that carries over into his sophomore campaign. Before we continue to push forward on today's show, sorry to interrupt this great show, but this is just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. If you want daily shows on the Birds from yours truly, my name is Chase Sr., hit that subscribe button. Last weekend, we surpassed 121,000 subscribers. We're already on the march to 122K. And anytime I'm in front of this camera on a microphone talking Eagles, I want our shows, our content, to be insightful, informative, thought-provoking, entertaining, and I want you to have a voice. If all of that sounds great, join the movement, subscribe today. No other channel here at Chat Sports has picked up more subscribers over the last calendar year than Philadelphia Eagles now. We also have a great sponsor that we want to tell you about and a fantastic deal that you have to take advantage of. It is Chubby's biggest sale of the year, which means $45 bottoms, both shorts and swim trunks, and up to 65% off their select gear. It is the perfect time to donate your decade-old shorts or get rid of your old shirts and refresh your drawer. Look good, feel good with Chubby's. Comfy, casual, built for life. The Chubby's original stretch shorts can live on your legs. Available in long, short, waist short. They come with a relaxed fit, elastic waistband, no fuss design. And look, temperatures are heating up. Summer's around the corner. That means it's officially time to get some summer gear. But I love Chubby's because their swimsuits allow me to have a great day by the pool, on a lake, in the ocean. Their shirts allow you to be comfortable, stretchable fabric, look good, feel good. You can stay cool, but they are also casual and formal. You want to wear a polo out to the golf course? It's fantastic. You want to wear the shirt that I'm wearing by the pool? That works out well too. You want to wear something relaxed because you're just chilling at the crib, taking a break from the hustle and bustle of the warm weather in the summertime? That works as well. Skies out, thighs out, biggest sale of the year. Head to chubbyshorts.com/chat. Use the code CHAT. Don't wait. Limited time only. Shop Chubby's biggest sale of the year. $45 shorts and up to 65% off their select gear. And grab your favorites before they're gone. If you miss the sale, don't sweat it. Use our exclusive code CHAT for 20% off. As I've always said, the shirt that I'm wearing, part of the Chubby's NFL collection, that is not eligible for discount, but if you use our link, chubbyshorts.com/chat, you can find this shirt on the site as well. Another player who balled out during mandatory minicamp, the big man, Jordan Davis, entering a very critical year for him. And when he was at Georgia, 6'6", 340, top 10 in Heisman Trophy voting as a defensive tackle, the big question for him coming out of Georgia, was he a two-down player or a three-down player? Well, in 2022, two-down player. In 2023, two-down player. For most of 2024, he was a two-down player. But then about the halfway point of the regular season, you saw something click for him. The light bulb turned on. The flip was switched. And he started to play really good ball. And then in the NFL playoffs, Jordan Davis dominated. Flanking Jalen Carter, he was terrific. He occupied a lot of real estate, allowing Jalen Carter to break free. He helped his other teammates along that defensive line make some plays. But how about how he graded out, according to Pro Football Focus? 86.8 on the overall grade, second among all defensive tackles. A pass rush grade nearly perfect of 90. That ranked third. And the run defense, pretty solid. What helped him click and what helped him find his groove is that he got in better shape. He fell in love with Peloton, started taking classes. He was able, in turn, to work on his stamina, shed some pounds. And if you've seen the photos of him this offseason, he's looking a lot slimmer, more spry, a lot more mobile and agile. And sometimes it takes defensive tackles a little while to finally find it. And I think that Jordan Davis is in line for a breakout 2025, and it started with the work that he put in last year. It's carrying over to the spring. Kyle McCord. I think that he's going to be QB3 once the season begins on September 4th against the Dallas Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field as the Birds hoist that Super Bowl championship banner right in front of Jerry Jones in Dallas. It's going to be a beautiful sight. Kyle McCord this spring has played well. He's been spinning it. And I think that he's going to beat out Dorian Thompson-Robinson for the third-string quarterback role. And DTR wasn't dealt the best hand coming out of UCLA because he had to go to a dog shit organization in the Cleveland Browns. No structure, no stability, lack of foundation, bad roster, not the best coaching staff. I think that DTR has ability, but I think McCord's upside and his overall talent more intriguing than DTR. And coming out of Syracuse, McCord was one of my favorite quarterback prospects in this class. It's actually crazy that he fell to the Eagles all the way in the 6th round. Processes pre-snap very well, knows where to go with the ball, high football IQ, very cerebral as a quarterback. He anticipates very well with really good arm strength, good pocket feel, good pocket movement. He's very tough. I like his size at 6'3", 218 pounds. He was a winner in college at Ohio State and at Syracuse, a 22-4 win-loss record. And last year, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football. One of the most productive. He threw for nearly 4,800 yards, 34 touchdowns, 12 picks. He'll look down the gun barrel, take hits in the pocket, still deliver the football. Kyle McCord, one of the more impressive Philadelphia Eagles during mandatory minicamp. The arrow and the stock is up for the rookie quarterback. As for Danny Gray, he has a chance to make this roster. Danny Gray and Terrace Marshall, making things very interesting for that wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 battle between Gray, Marshall, Anaya Smith, and Johnny Wilson. The latter two players drafted in the 2024 draft. But Danny Gray is a player who was taken in the 3rd round in 2022 by the San Francisco 49ers, and he didn't work out with the Niners. Had one career catch, was barely available. He is a little bit smaller, so he was banged up a lot. But Kyle Shanahan, very tough on young wideouts. That included him being tough on Gray. He never saw the field. But what's intriguing about Danny Gray is the athleticism. It's the speed. It's him running a 4.3 40-yard dash coming out of SMU. We know that the Eagles really value those relative athletic score grades. Danny Gray's RAS score was nearly 9. This is a player who can get vertical, who can take the top off of the defense, who when he's on the field, if he can show that he can catch balls consistently and be durable, he will force safeties to start to hover over to his side. Eagles haven't had a player like that in a little while. And then what does that do? Opens up so much underneath for A.J. Brown, Vontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Saquon Barkley. As for Terrace Marshall, like Danny Gray, some draft pedigree. Terrace Marshall is a former 2nd-round pick of the Carolina Panthers from the 2021 NFL Draft. Now, he is not a burner to the level of Danny Gray, who ran a 4.3, but Terrace Marshall, a 9.76 relative athletic score in the pre-draft, clocked a 4.4 40-yard dash, and he has some size to him. 6'2", 205, 19 reps of 225 on the bench press. That's more than what he weighs. 39 inches on the vert and more than 10 feet on the broad. This is a really good athlete here who, like DTR, didn't go to a good organization to start his NFL career. Went to Carolina. But over the last couple of years, Aaron Moorhead, the Eagles wide receivers coach, has done a really nice job of developing A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith into the best wide receiver duo in the NFL and the best wide receiver duo in the history of this organization. And Danny Gray and Terrace Marshall are starting to develop. They have made plays throughout the spring that I think will give them an extended look and an opportunity to make this Eagles roster. I think the Eagles will probably hold on to 5 wide receivers on the opening 53, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, completely up for grabs right now. And it could be Gray and Marshall who bring a special set of skills respectively to that Eagles receiver room who make the team. Also of note, Jahan Dotson has had a really good spring as well. He's in a contract year, wide receiver 3 on this team behind Smitty and AJ. Very difficult to have a lot of production, but when the ball goes his way, I think that Dotson will have a better year in 2025 than he did in 2024. He's made the most of his opportunities. And in the playoffs and at the end of last year, when Smitty and Brown were resting, Dotson, he impressed. If you want to give me a follow on social media, I'd appreciate that. In addition to all of the long-form content that I give you here on YouTube, talking about the Birds every single day, I'm always talking Eagles on my social media pages.